Do you know, Lee Child was interviewed a couple of years ago by The Project here, a news show that we have here, and he declared that New Zealand was the world capital of Reacher. And the fact
is that true? Okay.
Yeah, apparently, according to him, because we adopted all the books well ahead of everyone else in the world. He figured he'd sold so many books here that the sheep must be reading them by now.
Right. That's funny. Well, it's nice to finally come home.
Ain't that the truth? I was told by a guy I work with, Daniel Rutledge. I respect Dan very much. He does like a lot of really horribly violent films. And so those are the ones that I don't take as advice. But he comes into work and he goes, oh my God, I just binge watched the whole of Reacher over the weekend and you have to watch it. And I said, do you mean Jack Reacher? Yeah. And I said, oh yeah, okay, I will. Tremendous. Isn't it tremendous? Don't you love how everyone's digging it?
Yeah. I've been doing this a long time. To see people take to this so quickly and, with kind of a universal appreciation for it, it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. So yeah, it's been fun.
I think when you have an opportunity to have a series and when we're all self-isolating and locked up in home, we're embracing the idea of spending a lot more time with things that we love. But also, if we're not into it after a couple of eps, we cut and run. We're pretty ruthless, aren't we, as an audience? So when you get a season 2 greenlit pretty much straight away, you're doing something right, don't you?
Yeah, and again, it's a testament to what Lee Child built, the foundation that he laid. I don't think this would happen without him. That legion of fans loyal to him and the work that he's done, they're showing up, and it's it's great that in 72 hours we know for sure that we get to keep going. So yeah, it's fun.
When you audition for something like this, I was actually thinking of the iconic kind of action figures that we've had in the last sort of 50 years. And you've got Bond and you've got Bourne. Reacher, he's huge, not just huge, but everybody reads these books and loves this character. How did you feel when you got the phone call saying, mate, you're Jack Reacher?
Oh, look, it's not lost on me, the scope of who Reacher is to people, where he sits in the zeitgeist. It's strange to be compared to a Bond type character, which is truly world renowned, but it's not lost on me. And I was very emotional when I got the phone call. I was up at a cabin. I have a little cabin out in the woods, and I got the call and I was speechless. And I tried to get it out to my wife. I had the phone there, and she thought something happened to our kids, and so she was panicking. And I was like, no, and she's like, Reacher, and I was like, yes. It was emotional, but and then of course then the work begins, and you realize like there's a physical side of Reacher, there's the intellect, there's the fights, and we gotta get all of this right, so. But it's been just a process I'm very grateful for.
When you did get that news and you did tell your wife and you walked out and saw your kids, did you immediately start bench pressing your children just in preparation?
Oh yeah, I just started tossing them over like logs. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of strongman stuff. Like, yeah, wait, stop picking me up, Dad.
I was actually chatting a little bit earlier. As a parent, bizarrely, Reacher is giving me great inspiration. So this might sound weird, but that you are given an alternative of things to do by whether it's by Roscoe or who it is, or someone suggests something to you or asks you to do something, and Reacher just says no. And he just walks off. Yeah. There's no reason. There's no, this is another alternative, or this is how I feel about this. It's just no.
Right. He doesn't suffer fools. I think that's why, that's one of the reasons I love him. I won't speak for anybody else, but he doesn't placate. And I like that. It's not a quality that I have. I'm too much of a people pleaser.
Same.
I couldn't get away with it. I'd have to explain myself and tiptoe a little bit. So
does that feel good?
It's cathartic. Yeah, it's very cathartic. I gotta live out the parts of myself that I filter, No, I'm not.
You're a reasonably big dude from what I can gather, and you have an opportunity to proper use the physicality in a role, which should never be underestimated in a creative sense, whether it's putting on an amazing costume if you're Colin Farrell as Penguin, whatever it is, it's part of who you are. So how nourishing was that to actually finally use your physique in a way that was a really important part of a role?
Yeah, that's a good question. You're right. I do. I am sort of fighting that most of the time. Most as an actor, you want to sort of remain available to all opportunities. I don't know what's going to come tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be for the doctor, or the lawyer, or the stepdad or the action hero, you know, so I try and find this balance in between all of it. And, you know, that's worked for me okay over the years, but to know that I can just step into this and enjoy filling out and enjoy being my size, it's, you know, it's affirming, you know, so, yeah, it feels good. It's comfortable.
One of the great things about the show as well, and I'm only 4 or 5 eps in, which is great, and I think a lot of the unraveling of the story itself, because I haven't read this particular book either, it's not just about that, is it? It's very much, I've got no idea what the hell is going on, and I love that. When you had the opportunity, yeah, it's awesome. When you read the script, did you realize you weren't actually making some apologetic B-movie Reacher? You knew you were making some good quality detective stuff.
Well, I mean, I fell in love with the books. I've read all the books. I understood what it is, you know, to me, I understand what's so compelling about Reacher, why it's traveled across so many international borders, why it's been translated so many times. I mean, I get it. And wanting to see that on the page was, of course, of great concern, and figuring out what works so well. You know, I mean, I think there's a sense of humor that the books have. There's obviously the mystery, as you discussed, like the puzzle, putting it all together. Will Reacher figure it out, or will this be the time that he's bested by the villain? You know, and the fights and the physicality, all that stuff that lives on the page, it was all there from day one. And I remember the first phone call I had with Nick Santora, our showrunner, who did an amazing job adapting this from book to screen. Was that I want to make sure that the show doesn't take itself too seriously. I mean, this could become rather procedural, and we were always on the same page. I didn't have to say anything; it was all there. And as the scripts kept coming in, I'm like, man, he knows exactly what the best features of Reacher. They're all there. So, you know, I realized pretty quickly I was in good hands, and I could just sit back and enjoy being a part of it, you know.
Well, you can tell. I've got one last question on our speed date before I have to give you over to the Aussies, and I'm really sorry about having to do that.
Sure.
My brother-in-law wants to know, and with no spoilers, he's really hoping you finally get to finish that pie. Food is a big part of this show. So could you just kind of give me maybe, is that a spoiler? Do you really do get to finish the pie?
It's something, you know, there's a few cliffhangers with the pie. So, you know, there's a lot of will he, won't we. It's a bit of a romance. And I don't want to ruin anybody's expectations. You know, it could go either way. But I will say, in life, I always finish my pie. That is not a problem. So no concerns there.
That's the perfect answer. Romancing the Pie is the name of the season 2 premiere of Reacher. Hey, Alan, what an absolute joy. You've been awesome. New Zealand Reacher fans, thank you. And so do I. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.